What's good, everyone? Welcome back to Let's Travel, where your co-host Dimitri Wheeler and I interview the most interesting young hustlers in the world.
Yeah, for sure, man. Who do we got today, dude?
Hey, man, we got a very special guest for our listeners and viewers here today. Not only is Sarah Beaumont a celeb stylist and an actress, but she's also a scientist specializing in nuclear and radiochemistry.
Hey. Yep.
Hey. Yeah, damn, that's definitely a hustler I've ever heard of one. Radiochemistry and styling. That's nice. Let's get to it.
Word. All right, so let's start out with your interest in fashion, Sarah. So how did you first get interested in the world of fashion and design?
That's a good question. Honestly, I don't even know where to start, but okay, so I guess when I was a kid, I was just really annoying about wearing the same thing twice. So I'd always be at Macy's or Justice, all those little stores that you went to when you were a kid, every week, and make my parents buy me shit so I can just wear it something new to class every day. And I was so excited for that because
gotta come saucy.
Right?
I mean,
yeah, I know. We got it.
Yeah, spice it up on the reg.
Yeah. But I went to Catholic school for the longest time. So then to have some sort of outlet where I can express myself and not wear the same uniform every day was super dope too. Then I kind of just started sewing when I was really young because my mom taught me. So I'd make my own Halloween costumes and stuff. They were not always great, but the effort was there. So I guess it's just always stuck with me since then.
Okay. What were your best ones? What were the greatest hits?
Oh, God. I was obsessed with cats. It was such a weird phase for me. I have two cats now, so it's right. No, yeah, for real. I would just be a different sort of cat, a wizard cat or something. Don't judge me, but a wizard cat of the sorts.
I'm thinking of Always Sunny in Philly now. That cat lady.
Yo,
talking about.
Yeah.
No, I'm playing. That's cool. That's awesome.
Word.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so when did you realize that you wanted to actively pursue your interest in that space? Were there any experiences in particular? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to be part of the creative aspect because I started off modeling, and whenever I was modeling, I would just kind of be there. I'd be with the designers, I'd be with other models. But you don't really have creative freedom, obviously, because you're just there and they put the clothes on you and they're do whatever, do this and that. But I guess it was kind of a good bridge for me because once I had the experience of being on sets and then talking to designers and seeing the whole process, it definitely piqued my interest more of the creative side because I got really bored of just modeling and just, not really doing anything with the creative part of it. And I don't know, I guess started styling probably pretty recently, about a year and a half ago. But before then, I would just do more freelance work. But it honestly just kind of snuck up on me because no one really thinks about how important styling is in shoots. But it's so important. A lot of people just kind of gloss over it and don't even think about, okay, every single aspect of this picture on a magazine, down to the rings and your nails and your earrings, just everything about it. Someone had to prep it, make sure it's facing the right way, make sure it all is cohesive. I guess it really just opened up my mind to the whole profession itself. And I don't know, kind of just happened. So I'm not mad about it, but yeah.
That's cool. And was there anyone in particular that you personally just looked up to in the world of fashion and design?
Yeah, actually, I have so many people that inspire me. But start off with some stylists that I'm obsessed with. Bobby Wesley, he's Future, Gunna, Young Thug. He does a ton of rapper styling, which is super dope.
Yeah. And
he does mostly music videos and that type of thing. But I've always looked up to people who have, I guess, gone in there and proven themselves and branched off. And he basically just does specifically a lot of rappers and whatnot. So I thought that was super cool. And then Arnold Milford, who I've worked with multiple times. I love him. He's been such a big inspiration to me too, because we kind of work on similar projects and whatnot with editorial and magazines and models, celebrities, things like that. So, and also he's just an amazing person to work with. It's just I don't know, I don't want to say it's so hard to find people that you can relate to and be yourself around and they're not their head's not blown up, but he's definitely one of those people where I'm just you're such a genuine person. I just love working with people like that. And then also Mike Hodges, he's Kenny Still's stylist. He just puts the hottest fits together I've ever seen in my life. So big shout out to him. He's super nice too. So I really like him. But and then designer wise, I really like Toby Feltwell. He's the co-founder of Cavemt. And they're this like Tokyo brand, and they're so sick. They came from like economic distress in Tokyo and like made it into something that was good out of a shitty situation. And their stuff is so cool. Like I'm always excited to see what they come up with. So that's a huge brand for me that I love. I don't own many pieces from it, but I'll see it and I'm just like, oh, that's like perfect.
Like, oh,
perfect. Right, yeah. Also, Jack Carlson from Rowing Blazers. He's the founder of Rowing Blazers. Amazing work as well. I've worked with him too. And just the whole team there, amazing. The quality, phenomenal. And I just feel so happy to see that people like that, I'll see them grow over time and start working with a ton of more brands. And they're working with the NBA, like doing a ton of things right now. And I'm just really happy for him. Like everyone there is so nice. And you know what? Power to them. Like they deserve that. So I'm really happy to see it.
Hey.
Biggest fan.
Hey.
That's dope. And so what are some of your favorite brands in fashion, like to actually wear?
Facts. I really like Cactus Plant Flea Market. I'm wearing that right now.
Yeah, it's a fire sweatshirt. I see that. I peep that.
Yeah. They'll do these collabs with a ton of rappers. This one's Playboy Cardi. They also have like stuff with Kanye, like a million other people. They make fire fits. Then we got, I guess for everyday stuff where you're just trying to find something like good quality, I would rather spend more money on like a few good pieces that I know I'm gonna wear and they're like good essential pieces and they're gonna last me a while. So for that, probably like Rag & Bone, they're really good. Lululemon, also amazing. And then for if you're trying to spend money, oh yeah, Levi's too. I just only wear Levi's. Like my drawer of Levi's, it looks like a store. It's so bad. But Ralph Lauren is good. They're like so overpriced, but they're great. Yeah, I think that about does it for like everyday stuff.
Cool. And then for like luxury brands, like, so Gucci versus Louis Vuitton, who we got?
Ooh. All right, I've got good and bad things about both. I honestly I don't know. I feel like I hate when people don't style Gucci or Louis properly. It just makes me, I don't know, like do your thing, but just kind of throws me off whenever I'll look at the mannequins in Gucci. I was just at the mall the other day and I'm like, this is how you're supposed to wear it. You're not supposed to be, I mean, you can be like monogrammed out. That's totally fine. But you can just tell when things are like fake and it just looks weird. And then, I don't know. Sorry, I get so off topic, but all over the place.
No, I need to know this so people don't know and I'm trying to look like I actually
don't know.
Yeah, for real. I gotta be coming right, especially when I'm wearing nice clothes.
Right. But I really respect Gucci for, they're not playing it safe, which I feel like Louis has done. I'm not shitting on them, but like, I don't know, you don't want to expect what you're gonna see. Like, I feel like Gucci with their runways and with their collections, I feel like I'm not gonna know what they're gonna do next, and I really respect that. But at the same time, Louis Vuitton, they straight up started this shit because back in the day, I forget what year, like 1800s, Louis Vuitton, they were making trunks, right? And they used to only make trunks that are like circular at the top, and Louis was the first to make it flat. So they kind of started shit way back. And then like the fact that they're still relevant, it's sick. So definitely historically Louis wins. But then as of now, if I'm looking for something and I'm going to put this on like the cover of magazine, I'd probably go Gucci over Louis, to be honest. That's it. That was a long answer, but
yeah. Insightful. Who are we missing out on? Who we leaving out? Like in that sort of top echelon of Louis, Gucci in that area?
Ooh, I guess you could say like Burberry or... Burberry's cool. I mean, like, kind of the same thing. I feel like Dior and Burberry have kind of, I've seen recently, they've tried to appeal to like a bigger market and start trends / follow trends, which is cool, like good for them. Especially with Dior. They've definitely made really cool shit recently, which I like. Because they used to be like an old person brand. They used to be like a Chanel, you know what I'm saying? I hate Chanel. But, like, I don't hate them, but I don't like anything.
All my homies hate Chanel.
I don't like it. I forget. I need to look this up. The first year that they had a black male model was literally like 2005 or something. And they've been around since like 1900, whatever the fuck. Yeah. Why did it take that long? Like, I don't know. I just don't stand for that. And their clothes kind of suck. And they're old, so.
That's funny.
I don't know.
That's interesting. My mom loves it and she's black, so I gotta tell her maybe switch it up to some of these other ones.
But you gotta switch out, bro.
I don't know. I've got like a Chanel tweed. I'll just collect vintage like designer runway stuff and then give it to my kids. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it going with that. I think it's kind of like, I don't know, it's more than just clothes. It's like time. You know, that's from like a certain era and you're like, yeah. But yeah.
No, that makes sense. And so kind of something we really wanted to ask you is, you know, you have this interest in fashion. How did that sort of cultivate into being a celeb stylist? Where did that sort of interest come about? And why did you pursue that?
Yeah, I don't know, kind of similar to like what I said earlier. It kind of happened. And it's funny because everyone's always like, oh, what did you, I don't know. Like it honestly just happened. And I think I was just at the right place in the right time, knowing the right people. And then not being a bitch is a big thing. Like, I don't know, like, you know, if you're fun to be around, if people like you and enjoy being around you, that's 90% of the battle. I don't know. I've had so many styling and other jobs that I've had to turn down, which would be dope. But since I'm doing school at the same time, getting my PhD in science, it's like I have to think long term a little bit. So I don't want to get clouded by all the glitz and glory. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all great, but I don't think it's all it's hyped up to be in the fashion industry. It's a pretty small circle. And once you're in it, you just kind of see everything that's going on. Like, it's dope and like people are great. But yeah, I'm not going to like put all my eggs in one basket. So yeah.
No, I feel that. You can't do that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Did you have any like challenges or anything that kind of made you think, hey, maybe I should start to look at some other skills besides just putting everything, like you said, in one basket?
I guess, I don't know. I love challenges. Like, I welcome that shit because if anything, it just makes you a better person at the end of the day. So I would say challenges with styling, I never really thought of until you're in the moment. It's just purely logistics of a shoot. I've had to direct shoots and all that, and just the pure amount of location, models, keeping up what's the day, what's the time, where are we going to get the accessories, when are we going to get the clothes from the store, and what store is going to let us take it, and what's the vibe, and who's the photographer and the cinematographer, and da-da-da. And that just takes in itself, I'll have to plan a shoot like months ahead. I've pulled a shoot together. My record time is 2 days where I've had to get an entire team of people last minute. So I was not sleeping, but I don't know, logistics. And then I just feel like the whole shoot, if I direct it, I have to make sure everything's going right. So I feel like I need 20 of me to be in each place, making sure shit's going right. So you never realize how much goes into it. So that was like a big surprise to me. You know, going from being a model to having to direct a whole entire shoot is so different. Yeah, but it's good though. I mean, good experience.
For sure.
That's interesting. Sure. How did did you have any of those like beginning moments just working with celebrities where you're like, damn, I cannot believe I'm actually doing this? And how do you like deal with that? What was that experience like in the beginning?
It's funny because I don't know if I could ever say like, wow, there's a celebrity in front of me, because at the end of the day, we're all people. And celebrities don't even like that attention. I won't take out my phone. You know, it's just unprofessional. And you can't, I don't know, I'm not going to act like I know everything about them too. Like, I know your name, obviously. We're working together, but I'm not going to be like, so I saw you did this. How's that? Like, I'm not going to question what they're up to because they find that annoying. And I'm just trying to coast by and go unnoticed. And half the time they don't even know my name, so it's fine. You know, it's definitely really cool. And then you see them doing other things with other celebrities and you're like, wow, this is the 1% of America. And I was just with them last weekend. But I don't think of it like that, you know, until afterwards. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. You're with Drake right now? Like, word. Like, what? Like, it's wild. But I don't know. I guess it doesn't really hit me. I don't know. It probably will never hit me. They're other people. They're the same.
No, I feel that.
Yeah.
Did you never see? I'm trying to think who I saw. I think it was like Ryan Seacrest, and I saw him for the first time like in the flesh. I was just like, man, you don't look the same. Was there any moment like that? Like, I've seen pictures or I've seen like movies of person, but then they're like right there. It's like, I don't know, maybe they're short. Maybe it's like, oh, he's a little more pale than I thought. Or, I don't know.
Yeah.
He looks old, bro.
Yeah. I can't name names, but I'll eventually be able to name names. I can't right now just because NDAs. But people like actors, you don't realize how unique and like not, I don't know, they're so unique in person. When you see it on camera, you're like, oh, they have recognizable, unique faces and whatnot. But then when you see them in person, you're like, yo, you're like my height. I'm 5'5". and you're also, I don't know, like you got a big head or like whatever, but that's sick because it looks good on the camera. If you just look like anyone else, you're not going to get looked at twice, especially if you're like reading lines. You want to have a memorable face. So I get that a lot where it's like, wow, you look so different in person. Like seeing you, I'm like, wow, it's weird. But for sure. And then A$AP Rocky, oh my God, he's just so sexy in person. Like that's all I had to say.
Does he even need a stylist, honestly?
Hey, yo, shout out to the dark skins though.
He's
he's
that's really, one for you, bro. He's something else. I was like, damn, all right. Yeah.
Word.
How much do they like talk to you, just like shoot the shit type?
Oh yeah, it depends. I mean, I don't know, like it's funny because like sometimes they'll be mad and it's directed at me. I'm just gonna take it, but yeah, I definitely feel like an asshole sometimes whenever, like, if I do something wrong or, like, I don't make something tight enough on them and they're like, this is too loose, like, where's my shoes, like, duh, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry, you know, but, yeah, I don't know, or, like, they'll just be the most down-to-earth people ever, and you're just like, wow, like, you deserve all the money and fame that you have. Some Victoria's Secret models I've worked with, Frida Aasen, she's just so sweet, and other people are just so nice, and I'm like, I'll remember them because you were genuinely, like, the sweetest, down-to-earth person, and I would never guess that you make millions of dollars and you're a huge celebrity model, whatever it is. But yeah, there's definitely certain names I'm like, I don't like you, or not like you, but there's names where I'm like, okay, you might be mean to me, and then you're really nice, so yeah.
Okay. But we'll have to get you back after these NDAs so you can start to do just a straight name drop pod.
I know.
She gotta be letting us know who's chilling, who's not chill, so I know who I see out on the street in New York to avoid and to be saying like, yo, what's up?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Definitely changes your opinion on people. You're just like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
But you'll hear it too. I mean, if you look someone up and you're like, how is it to work with do? Usually everyone will just be like flooding it with their experience. So it's like not that hard to. Plus, I'm not the type of person to just talk shit. I feel like that's not good. Yeah. So yeah. When it's like relevant, I'll definitely, but yeah.
But yeah, so that's really dope. I mean, so obviously as a celeb stylist, you've had a chance to work with supermodels like Winnie Harlow and also others, you know, from Victoria's Secret, right? And, you know, just modeling clothes for French magazines like L'Officiel, and obviously you kind of touched on those experiences before, but how does someone so young just get to participate with these high profile photo shoots? I mean, obviously you talked about how you were in the right place at the right time, but I mean, it's got to be something else, right?
Yeah. I'd say a big thing is just, I don't know, connections are really important, but don't go into connections expecting something from someone. I've been to a lot of high profile parties, gatherings, whatever it is, where you meet someone and then they meet someone, you like introduce you, whatever. And it's one of those things where it's like, I'm going into this, like, we're going to be friends, whatever. And then if opportunities come along and they think of your name or you think of their name, the same way that people think of me and hit me up for a project, I hit them up for the same thing. I'll be like, okay, use me for this. I'm gonna set you up with this deal, and like you're gonna be making money from that. And like I'm not even involved. I'm just the guy who says, I'm gonna refer you to whoever else. And it's like a give and take. And at the end of the day, there's a person behind every job. It's not just this person is that job. It's for the most part, people I meet, I won't even find out what they do until later. And if they want me to be a part of it, cool. If not, I'm not going to intrude and try to put myself on it. So it's just about not being overbearing. Connections are so important, but don't be overbearing about it, you know, asking people all the time for jobs or whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. If the right thing will come along. Yeah, right. It'll come to you. And I feel like a big thing for me is I don't really seek out. People see my work and they like it, or they worked with me before on set and they want me for something else. And that's totally cool. You know what I'm saying? So it's one thing just leads to another. You know, once you're at a shoot and you network or whatever else it may be and someone likes you, then it kind of just opens up another door. And I don't know, just don't be an asshole, for real. Honestly, if people just like having you around, that's a big thing. They could have you around to be an assistant, but they just like being around you, and then that's your role. And yeah, so I don't know.
That's the perks of being, you know, chill, honestly. Just people like to have you around, and like you can just strike up a conversation with anyone. It's cool. Like you just kind of talk the shit, shoot the shit, and it's like whatever, right?
And then also just be present. If someone asks you to do something, don't complain about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to name names again, but I've worked with people who will make the biggest deal. They're the same job level as me and they'll make the biggest deal out of the littlest thing. And then people see that and they're going to be like, why are you such a naysayer? We're all tired. We've all worked 14 hours. We woke up at like 5 a.m. and it's 5 a.m. the next day. You know, we've all been here all day. We're all tired. Life goes a lot smoother when you just don't complain. Like nobody likes that. So
facts. And that's facts.
That's my biggest thing. Just suck it up. Even if you're there and like you're a zombie, just be a nice one, a nice zombie or something.
Be a nice
and like
zombie.
do what people say. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, so like we kind of touched on this a little bit, but do you have like a one favorite shoot? Or maybe second favorite, because I'm sure ASAP was first, I guess. So.
Oh my god, I love ASAP. I have so many great shoots that I've worked on. Wow, that's really good. I guess like creative wise, I really like, we have like test shoots, which is just where you'll freelance, like, kind of like hire photographers, hire whatever. Usually it's with like a magazine. So I've done some things for this magazine called Flannel Magazine. And I've worked with like a few great photographers just doing like test shoots where you'll just get like models and then just kind of like set something up and I'll just bring whatever they want to put them in. And that's just the funnest for me, where I know that I don't have any bounds on what I can do and there's not a certain look that you need. So just being able to be really creative with it, that's so fun. I had a shoot like that earlier this year. It was with Taylor Tresca and... yeah, I posted it. It was like this cowboy shoot look kind of thing. Wait.
Oh, yeah.
So fun. Yeah.
That's tough.
That was amazing. And then we were all just like buddy and it was just fun. I love shoots like that where it's just fun and just like carefree. And, you know, there's no bounds on what you need to do. And the magazines like it and you like it, but... yeah, so that's definitely my favorite thing I like to do. But like, I guess working with celebrities and stuff. I just did a project with Bronx and Banco. That was with Arnold Milford again. I was just assisting styling with him. And that was for New York Fashion Week. And it was super fun. And it was kind of a buildup of a few days of staying up all night and not sleeping. And I got to work with Natalie DeBanco and she's great. I just love seeing her creative process. And that was really fun. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to what the year has to bring with more things to do. So I'm sure I will be busy. Yeah.
Hey, I mean, sometimes being busy ain't the worst thing in the world if you're doing dope stuff.
Yeah.
But cool. But yeah, I mean, so you talked about just a little bit how you were doing the whole celeb styling process, creative process for the New York Fashion Week. And actually, you had some experience being a model too for the New York Fashion Week. So what was that like?
It was cool. I'm like short. So whenever I was modeling, especially runway where the starting height is like 5'9", no one likes me whenever you're a short model, which I hate. And I was really happy to be a part of. They had Sir's Lingerie. I was the shortest model there. And everyone clapped when I went out because I was different. I wasn't tall and skinny. I thought that was super dope and I'll never forget that. It was kind of scary because I kind of got thrown in last minute. I was literally there with a photographer I knew. And then they're like, oh, did you get fitted yet? And I'm like, I guess I'll do that. You know, it was like literally right place, right time.
Obviously.
And the other runway I did, which I think was like started 2020, it was with Fenari New York. And that was cool. I've known Janelle, who's like the owner of that, like the designer, for a while. She kind of was like there for my earlier days of modeling, which is cool. And it was interesting because the rain jacket I wore, which is kind of cool, it got into Vogue, which is dope, like the pictures of me in it. Mm-hmm. And that was so cool. And then she named it after me. So she named it the Sarah Raincoat, which is nice. Hey, yeah, so I'll never live down being in Vogue. Yeah. I'm literally going to try to bring that up in every conversation ever. Low key.
Got to.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's really cool.
Dang. And so, yeah, just kind of sticking to that, like going to other parts of your life. We know you're an actress. You appeared on, comedy game shows like MTV's Wildn Out with Nick Cannon. how'd you get involved in that? How'd that sort of part of your career come about? And
Yeah.
what was your role in that show?
Acting is weird. It's interesting. It's really different. And that's kind of why I went from modeling to acting. And then I guess styling came along, because when you're working in production, you just see all the moving parts. So I was like, okay, styling, yeah. But then over quarantine, I was like, all right, I'm going to start acting. And that shit is so difficult. You would think it's the easiest job, but it's really difficult to be able to project your emotions as someone else. So it's such an interesting experience. When it came to MTV and whatnot, I did that around the same time as New York Fashion Week. That was like beginning of 2020. I feel like that's so long ago, but like it's so weird. I feel like there's like a chunk of time gone. But
no, like that. It's like
it's wild.
It's like 2019, 2020 is like a hole in time. It's like nothing happened, and then
that is it, bro. It's a hole in time, man.
No,
no, really, it's wild. But that, like, I didn't really have to act for that. I just kind of had to stand there as like a Wildn Out girl. That was really interesting. Like that was so weird. I didn't like any of it. Oh yeah, you want to? Okay, I'm spilling tea. Well, I didn't sign anything, so like, I'm allowed to talk shit.
You talk about it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Here's the hot tea. The hot take. So I was in a casting of, I think it was like 300 other girls or something, and they were choosing like 8, and I was like, there's no way I'm getting this shit, because like I was, there's all these other girls who are like good at dancing, and like they're not awkward, and like me, whatever. And like I was just kind of there, and I just did it to do it, and I was like, all right, word, like I'm definitely not gonna get this. But so they just made us walk or whatever, and I was like, I just walked in New York Fashion Week like 5 times, so I'm gonna do the best walk I can. And then I got it, but I wasn't there to receive. They named off everyone who got picked, and I left early because I had a project due at 12. So, and I didn't start it. I wish I brought my laptop, but I just left, and I was like, let me know if they call me. Like, they probably won't. And then, so I had like a million texts after, like, oh, like you got chosen. I was like, that's so wild. So then we got this email group chat kind of thing going on, and it was cool. And like the other girls were really nice and stuff. I like still am friends with some of them, but yeah, it just got weird when, I don't even know how this happened, but we were having like a shoot beforehand so you could see what all the models and stuff look like. And when we got there, it was in Jersey City, like outside of some warehouse. And I was like, this is kind of weird. Sketch. And then so super sketch, like, and then like no one's answering the door, and like it's me and these 5 other girls freezing our asses off and all that outside of Jersey City, no lights anywhere. It was so strange and scary. So we like get in the warehouse. Yeah, literally asbestos warehouse a little bit. Like it was like gross. So we go in, and I see these 2 dudes who were apparently casting directors, whatever. And I was like, this is a weird situation. So I already called Uber and got out. But turns out that it's a good thing I left, because other girls who didn't get casted showed up and stole someone's wallet or something, like the other model's wallet. And on top of that, they were not even the casting directors, apparently, according to MTV. I don't really know what happened there. But they emailed all of us, and they're like, oh yeah, sorry, we're not associated or affiliated with these people. And I'm like looking at the group chat, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it's so weird. Like, asbestos warehouse, like they had this weird, like fucking like brute, like wine, whatever. And they're like, yeah, I'm like, I'm not drinking on the fucking dusty floor. Like, what is wrong with you? No. So I dipped. So weird. And then turns out, I don't know, one of the fake casting directors, whatever, allegedly assaulted someone, like one of the models. Basically one of those things like, hey, if you don't do things, you're not going to be on the show. And I was like, oh shit. So it was pretty spicy. It was a bad time. I didn't like any of it.
Yeah. I mean, damn, so you had to go through that.
Yeah,
well, I got the fuck out. So I was like, I'm not trying to deal with this shit right now.
I'm glad you did.
Well, otherwise it was cool. Like the rest of the shooting process was fine. I mean, like, it's definitely just like, at the end of the day, it's like an MTV reality kind of game show thing. So it's like, I didn't have high expectations anyways. So yeah, not to talk shit, but. Damn.
No, it sounds like a wild experience for real. Oh,
definitely Wildn Out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was about to make that pun.
Yeah. And then I also got an email from Nick Cannon and his team later.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I made this new rap song. Can you make a thriller to my section of it? And I'm like, absolutely not.
You're like, after that, nah, no shot.
Absolutely not. Like, no. God, no.
So sus.
Yeah, but I just did a ton of actual projects. Like I just filmed, like I was a waitress in this feature film. It's called Survivor. I don't know what's good with it. I was just a waitress. I shot that this week and that was fun.
That's
like
cool.
I'm just doing other things, like other stuff I can't talk about, but other cool things that I'm really excited for, like very, very excited to talk about.
Word.
And like release. It'll be super sick, so.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
For sure. And, I'm obviously like, you're a celeb stylist, an actress, but also you're a scientist. So
Yeah.
how did you...
It's too many things, man.
Yeah, that's
So
what
weird,
I'm saying.
I know.
Like, you got so many
It's
things
so
going
weird.
for you. It's dope, for real. But, so how did you first get interested in the world of science and research?
So it's weird because my dad's a scientist. He's a food scientist. He's got his PhD, like microbiology, all that. He went to Duke and stuff. And my mom she was a photographer. She was like a photographer for like Ray-Bans, Converse, all that back in the day.
Hey.
But she was also a nurse. So like an ER nurse. So just growing up, like healthcare and science has always been like a big thing. And then along with that, just like my sister's an artist and my mom is obviously a photographer. So I got this weird mix of like wanting to be really creative and like I'm like an eccentric person and like, I don't know. And then also being like an analytical thinker and doing things like I guess I have like weird OCD, like things have to be perfect and to the book, which is like the science part of me where it's like, damn, like this will bother me for the rest of my life if something's off, like, so like, it was just a weird thing that happened, and I've always had like an inclination towards science and stuff because just like growing up and having my dad just explain things to me that didn't even, he just knows everything about everything. He's like one of those people. And I've always aspired to kind of like, I don't know, follow in his footsteps like a little bit. So I'm definitely more like my dad in that sense. So yeah, but.
Hey, that's awesome. So let's talk about some of your research experiences. You had the opportunity to go to Dublin, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
It was amazing. My dad, he works at Glanbia and they're based in Dublin or like Ireland. So it was kind of like one of those things where I was like, you know what? Might as well go spend some time with the Padre and get some school stuff done.
Might as well fly to Dublin.
We out here in Dublin.
Just chill there.
Yeah, it was fucking amazing, actually. I really miss it. I was supposed to go back and then 7 days before...
Right?
I was leaving, literally had to cancel my flight and everything because they put the travel ban on. I was like, fuck, I just left 7 days earlier.
Damn, I'm telling you, man.
I would have loved to be stuck in Ireland.
Yeah.
I got stuck here.
Yeah, all of us got here at the worst time in our lives.
I know.
Right.
Bro.
We were doing great. I don't know what happened.
Damn.
But,
so, like,
yeah.
what was it like living there? I mean, Dublin, it's not your, like, quintessential European destination. Was there anything, like, surprising about there? Or?
Oh my god, I fucking love it so much. Like, it was just a small enough town where, like, I don't know how to, you just, like, have such a sense of community and you know everyone there. I spent a lot of time in Kilkenny and then I would go from there to Dublin. So Kilkenny's even smaller than Dublin. So it was like, it was so nice. Everyone there is so nice. I felt like coming from living mostly in like the Northeast and like Philly and then going there, I was like, I feel so rude for the first month. I felt like I was being a little aggressive or like, heavy-handed. And then when I went there, I just like I was so nice and mellow and I came back and I'm like, why can't we all just be friends and shit? Like I'm not freaking out in traffic anymore. And then that shit was like, it took about a week and a half and I was right back to it. Just, jagged. Jagged. So, but no, it definitely lowered my blood pressure and made me like a better person, I think. And the people there are so nice. I made the best friends. Oh my God, I miss everyone there. So yeah, I'm definitely going to go back eventually.
Dang, I'll add that to the list. Are there any brothers out
facts.
there? Or?
Any what?
Any brothers?
Oh, facts, yeah.
It's important.
Few far between. I don't know, it's weird. It's a small ass place, like. But for sure. It's it's dope. You should definitely check it out. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hey, to
No,
meet
that's
you.
cool because like
Looks
I
like we're
flew
going
in
to Ireland,
Paris.
bro. I said, looks like that we're both going to Dublin pretty soon, man.
Yeah, I
Got
gotta add to
to.
the list, man. It's been
Yeah,
missing on my
Same,
list
facts.
man.
forever.
Facts.
So
Yeah.
yeah, because
Gotta be out
it's
to
funny you say
Europe,
that because I used
bro.
to live in Paris and everyone was always like, "Good morning, good afternoon." I'm like, "Oh wow!" Like
Mm.
no one's ever said that to me in America.
Right.
Net, like
Yeah.
Nah,
I've never
man.
been walking
People.
Bro,
around
in
like
Paris
getting a
is like, they're
coffee.
usually mean.
Really?
Wait,
No,
what
I
part of
mean,
Paris were you at?
so
Wait, never
I've
mind.
been like all over there. So like all throughout Paris, all the different quartiers and stuff. Do you
Ah,
know the city well?
nice. No. I've only
No,
been to Paris a few times.
dang.
That's why I was like, I don't
Vibe.
even know why I asked. I wouldn't know. But
Could've
yeah,
said
it's a
anything,
nice
yeah.
place. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
it's
that's
they
awesome.
got good baguettes and food and whatnot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool, cool.
Word.
Yeah.
That's dope. I mean, obviously Europe is dope. I mean, I feel like generally people are a lot nicer and more cordial there, to be honest,
Yeah,
than in
it's
America and
I think they
Philly.
just got a different thought process or something,
Yeah,
just
different
like
vibe for
they're not
sure.
all about like money and like I don't know, I guess like trying to be selfish and stuff for the most part. Like they're all like in Ireland, they're all about the environment. They're all about helping out everyone around them. I had the sickest professors there. Straight up, second day of class, my professor literally took me out to lunch and asked me what I wanted to do with my life and stuff. I've never had any experience like that before where they genuinely care and like try to help you. And she ran like triathlons and stuff. She was sick as fuck. She'd make me run up the stairs with her instead of taking the elevator. She's like, it saves the environment. I was like, word, I'm down. Yeah, I lost a shit ton of weight there. I was walking all the time, going upstairs and shit. Like, it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, because like people don't drive cars as much there, right?
Yeah, they're kind of smart with it. Like, my dad, he's lived there for years and he still doesn't even have his license there yet. They make you go through this whole ass process. Then they make gas like $5 million to buy. It's kind of smart because then less people are driving and like it's just good shit. Keep it green and stuff, It's cool.
Got to. Word,
Yeah.
word. And, so just a part of your experience being there, like you obviously had a lot of different roles and, were a part of different just, like research projects involving food safety, food science, biorefinery, allergen management and celiac disease.
Yeah.
Whole bunch of stuff. Also including environmental sustainability, which is big now. So, out of all those, right, what were some of your favorite research projects and some of your favorite experiences as a part of those projects too?
Oh, it was all really interesting stuff. It was kind of at a time in my life where I'm still like this. You can probably tell, like, I don't really know, like, what exactly I want to do. I want to do it all. So it's like in science, I guess you kind of have to figure out what niche or like, you have to figure out exactly what you want to do. So it was like a taste of like each, I guess, aspect of science. So I worked on so many cool things, but we had chitin extraction from shrimp shells for biorefinery, which is super dope. So we basically took like proteins from things like shrimp and you can turn that into some sort of biofuel or energy, which is amazing. And like that could definitely change shit in the future. It's still in the works. Like obviously there's a ton of research going on with it right now. But being able to experience that and see that like there's just like infinite possibilities, like that's why I love science so much. It's like you'll never be bored because there's always something innovation wise. And then the other super cool thing, which I think is going to be really relevant in the next 10, 15 years with cancer, is so I was doing like using cold atmospheric plasma to kill cancer cells. So that was really tedious. We made like 3D like bacteria, whatnot, cultures. And it was just like, it was such hard work, but it was like just amazing to be able to feel like you're doing something, you're helping someone, and I guess breaking into some sort of like under research field or like just helping towards innovation, which is like the biggest thing for me. So that was definitely a really big eye opener. And what else? I also worked on the first nationally published celiac disease survey that they had in Ireland, which was also super cool. And it's kind of similar to what I'm doing right now. So I'm doing research with my school, Westchester University. It's like about the National School Lunch Program. And if your child who has celiac disease has access to a nutritionally adequate diet through that. So it's just things that you don't really think of. Like when you think of like your school lunches, like take out about 90% of that when you have celiac disease. Like anything with gluten in it, you can't be eating. So when you're a kid and you're reliant on like the national school lunch program because you're like under the poverty line, you can't pack your own lunches, gluten-free food costs more money, you're out here struggling. So I'm trying to fix that shit. Like, what are we up to? Yeah.
No, it's all you. It's all you.
I
for
know.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. So we'll see. It's all great shit. Like, I don't know. I'll never be bored with it. So, yeah.
And you've written stuff with that, right? Like, what was the publishing process like?
I did a lot. I did more so, I guess, like with all my research that I do right now, I have to write and research. I probably look at like, I don't know, at least 20 articles a day, just reading entire articles on like PubMed, which is like, could be like up to 40 pages each. Like trying to find relevant information. I know, it's so crazy. I just have no life. But yeah, so just like the research process in and of itself, you have to find something that no one else has really done, because at that point you're just doing like a review. You're not doing your own research. So trying to find shit that no one's really talked about, and then like take that a step further and find things that support it, form a thesis, and then an abstract, you know, have some sort of sponsorship, make sure everything that you're doing is going to be ethical. So it's just it takes a really long time. That's all I've learned. It takes forever, but I'm happy to be doing it. And I'm going to be, I talked to these PhD students overseas and they're like, I've been working on this for 5 years.
Dang.
That is dedication if I've seen any of that.
That is not for real.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm on like, I guess like my second year, I guess. Yeah, I'm on my second year now of the research I'm doing. I just started another project like pretty recently, which is like, I didn't exactly decide what I wanted my abstract to be because there's just so much information. It's just like, it hurts my head.
What's the timeline left, you think?
Oh God. I'm probably gonna be working on my research for like at least the next like 3 years. I don't know. Until I have time, like I don't know, when I want something that I can have for like my thesis when I go to apply for my PhD. So I'm thinking that should be done within the next year, the one about the National School Lunch Program. But then this other thing I'm doing, it's like anticholinergic drugs and how that could induce HPPD or depersonalization, derealization. That I still need to figure out exactly what I want it to be about, but I see that being like a long-term, like 5-year thing. So we'll see. Yeah.
Definitely got to keep us updated on that, and obviously let us know when it's published.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I definitely do.
Will do.
And so, like,
for sure.
do you find yourself really like politically opinionated then, because you're spending so much time on the scientific research that you see? Like, all right, there's gaps in our systems, or you know, things that we're not paying attention to. Has that kind of translated to your political policy, like advocacy or anything like that? Or
yeah, it definitely has. I don't consider myself a very political person. Like, I couldn't sit here and tell you like the last 4 presidents. Like, I really don't understand or care. I just know the system is messed up, and for the most part, the shit gets skimmed over and no one really cares. Like the nutrition board that they have for the government, usually they just get pushed to the side, and like half the shit that they have, it'll just like half of it will get into like, even if that, I don't think anyone really cares. If you think about recent years, I think it was 2011, 2012 is when they first started adding to ingredient lists like added sugars versus overall total sugars. So now you can see how many added sugars is in a product as opposed to just the overall, like how many grams of sugars is in it. And then along with that, you can say something is sugar-free, but that doesn't cover, I guess, like you could say that the same molecular makeup of glucose. So like artificial sugars. There's just a lot of ways people can get around things. If you look at like corn oil, it'll say heart healthy, have an asterisk next to it, next to the asterisk, like not heart healthy. Sorry, like we were fucking kidding. Like, like basically, like you just gotta read it. And like, that's why
that's crazy.
I'm literally in the grocery store for a fucking hour because I'm comparing exact ingredients. I'm like dextrose, fructose, like you're not fucking fooling me. Like, I don't know. Yeah, so
I always think the biggest trap they do is that serving size thing. Like, They'll have
Yeah,
tiny
serving size.
You get like a bag of chips or something. It's like 3
Facts.
chips, no trans fat,
Yeah.
but who's
Right.
eating
It's
3
another
chips?
thing.
He's about to- yeah, that eyes about to
There's
eat
just
chips.
so many things I hate about like what they're doing. I just hate all of it so much. Like the same thing with why I'm doing the research right now that I'm doing with like the National School Lunch Program is like, so we have our basic guideline, like just I guess like the most basic form of you need this many grams of fat, you need this many grams of whatever, fruits, vegetables per serving for this to be considered a meal in schools. So we'll have that, right? And then instead of having like some sort of on-site like kitchen, whatever, they will outsource that to the lowest common denominator, the cheapest and the most convenient option for food. And it's like when you're giving that shit to kids who are developing mentally, physically, on all aspects, you can't be feeding them things that are just like not nutritionally adequate. And then add on top of that, what if you have like lactose intolerance? What if you have celiac disease? What if you have anything? What if you don't have any money to pack your own food? Okay. Like, you know, it's like, it just makes things a lot more complex. And it's like, why are we surprised that diabetes is one of the top leading diseases in America and heart disease? These are all things that are preventable through diet. So it's like, I just don't know why we're acting fucking surprised.
No, I mean, for real though, like,
and I don't even blame the population or the people because there's no like, you don't have to take nutrition classes in school. Like you have to take phys ed. You don't have to take nutrition classes though. And like you'll go to your general clinical doctor and he'll be like, lose weight, you know, he won't tell you exactly like the healthiest way you can. So then people get on these fad diets and etc. I don't know. I could talk about that shit all day, but
nah, for real. I
Yeah.
mean, if it wasn't for me playing sports, I mean, I would know nothing about nutrition, man. I mean,
Right,
like
right.
America, I feel like is so bad about overall just education, like you said, about, you know, what's good for you and, you know, certain things that are bad for you. And that's why, like you said, you know, diabetes and, you know, other similar problems and diseases that are related to just, you know, eating unhealthily is
Right.
so prevalent in America versus, you know, any other country. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's why I start to question, is this what's going on? You know, I mean, like, I don't understand it. I'm all about freedom of whatever the fuck you want to do in life, but not when you're trying to, like, I guess, like, weasel out of things. Like, people who are out here lobbying, like, Pepsi. Okay, think about this. I'm confused. Why? You know how they had that Get Active shit with Michelle Obama?
Yeah.
It was like Get Active, sponsored by Pepsi. Like, I'm not even shitting you. Like, this shit is sponsored by soda companies.
Yo,
There's just
crazy.
so much lobbying going on. There's so much crazy shit going on. It's like, I don't know. They have like, obviously food is essential. You know, I couldn't even imagine the numbers that they're pulling in. So think about that and how like most companies are just owned by the same company. So like when you got basically all the cereal brands owned by the same company, is like the soda and like this and that. So I don't know. If you look into it, you'll go down a rabbit hole and you'll be like, what is going on? Like, I don't trust anything.
Yeah, no.
So,
I mean, you just look at like the staple of American diets. It's literally like burgers, fries, pizza,
yeah.
tacos.
It's just upsetting. And I guess like working like as a food scientist, I can attest that like there's this certain level of sweet and salty that like we call it like just like I forget, it's like the peak level of what is the sweet and saltiness of this going to be. So then you mentally are not full and you want to keep eating more. And that's what makes you buy more products. So it's like there's people behind the scenes making things like this where it is addictive. I guess like biochemically, it has the same effect. So yeah, I don't act surprised. I don't know. I don't blame people for getting addicted to food or, you know, not feeling hungry after something. It's just all about like retraining yourself. So it takes like 21 days to form a habit. You just gotta, I don't know. I might like fuck around and just make some sort of digestible understanding of, I don't know, like there's just so much going on. And like honestly, with the food system especially, I don't even know where to start. I'd just be like overwhelmed. Like, damn. But yeah.
Fight the cravings, folks. Fight the cravings.
No, for real. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. And so, you know, obviously, you know, like you have some experience now just working at IDEXX laboratories as a differential technician in hematology, which is the study of the physiology of the blood. And
Yes.
so what led you to be interested in this practice and, branch of scientific research?
Yeah, so I'll just say I'm not one for clinical science more so. Like, I'm all about clinical science, but like when the pandemic hit, I felt like, I don't know, you definitely, like, if you have some sort of skill, if you have some sort of thing that someone can use, like, you should be putting it to work. So I'm certified in like PCR, RPCR, RT-PCR, whatever, sorts of things. So just like I was a molecular lab tech for a while, just doing PCR testing for like 16-hour shifts, hating my life. But like it's all in the name of good, I guess. With the pandemic and whatnot, things were really scary and like, I don't know, it was really crazy. So I guess what made me break into more of a clinical side of things was just like the pandemic. I started working at IDEXX during the pandemic. And they're a great company. I love them so much. They're amazing. So yeah, and being a differential technician, that is some hard work. That's why I'm drained every day of my life. You just have to sit there, make blood slides of like different patients, and then just put it under a microscope. And then my job is to differentiate cells. So it's just like, I'll close my eyes at night and I'll just see myself differentiating cells. It's like to the point. It's like so bad. Like, oh my God. Yeah. So
other people dream about, going to some like exotic place and you dream about differentiating cells.
Differentiating cells, man. Yeah, it's so bad. I'll literally, how like you'll nod off and you'll be like a little like delusional before you go to bed. I'll be like, that's like a fucking monocyte. I'm like, wait, why am I telling myself what the fuck this is? This is not happening. Like, so crazy. Yeah, so definitely, like it's cool. Like it just like opened me up to like, I guess like a new field of science that like I didn't exactly want to be in, but we're here and we're living and it's cool and I like it. So we'll see where it goes.
So
yeah. Well, I think everyone's wondering, Sarah's doing all this stuff. What's her priority right now? And how does she fit all this stuff into her day? How do you like maintain that, that balance?
Oh yeah. It's a long day, long days. I don't know. I guess like my biggest things are like, I'm not all knowing. Like, I feel like I give good advice to my friends about, especially with their professional careers. I'll make their resumes and like, I'll give them all of these resources if they don't know. Cause we're at an age where it's like, not everyone exactly knows what they want to do or where to go from here, especially with the job market right now. So I don't know, I guess I kind of like try to like lead other people. Cause like being a teacher is the best way to learn. So the more I kind of like talk through things with other people, the more I've gained knowledge and kind of figured out my own life at the same time. So I definitely come to crossroads where I'm like, I have this great styling or modeling, whatever it may be, acting job, and it's making like 5 times as much money and it's whatever, all this and great. But at the same time, then I have something like IDEXX, I have something like, okay, like I'm not going to be making nearly as much money, and et cetera, but it is more stable, whatever. All of it has its pros and cons. And it's just about, I'll like to refer to a lot of people, talk to a lot of people, think about what I want to do. So like, I don't know, I guess, and then just be like, whatever you do, put 100% of what you have into it. So I can't ever say like I left any situation half-assing it. Like I left work late today because when I diff those cells, it is correct. I'm not looking to half-ass this shit. I don't know. So yeah, just like be 100 with everything that you do with it. So yeah, I don't know. I forget the question. I'm sorry. What you just asked. Sure. I mean, if I answered it, I think, I don't know.
You answered it in a way that like, I don't know if it's going to hit exactly to like the answer that most people would think, but I think in just the way you describe yourself, you almost answer it without saying the words, if that makes sense. Like I can just tell from your answer, you're like, you're just someone who's kind of, all these things are coming and you just find a way to handle them, but you make sure if you're juggling multiple things, like each thing's going to get done right. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't like to just like don't commit to things that you can't do, you know? At the end of the day, like if you're being honest about what you can handle, and like I've definitely been the type of person who's, you know, overdone it with like how many things I'm doing, and then I've had a mental breakdown about it. So just learning from that is super cool. You have to learn, okay, well, you know, this is the limit. I've shot overnight for like some TV show and then gone to work the next day, all-nighter, you know, but I know I can handle it once in a while, but I'm not going to be doing that every day, you know? So it's like, there's crazy days for me like that, but just like being smart, time management, organization, and yeah, I'm not going to show up and half-ass, so don't do that.
Obviously,
yeah.
gotta give 100%
Right.
each time. Come on now.
It's true.
Word.
It's true.
That's dope. And before we wrap it up here, I know we talked a bit about balance and just all that, but, you know, especially nowadays, health and wellness is big. I mean, you know, I mean, obviously, you said, like, you can't be pulling all-nighters every single night, right? So, like, so what are some hobbies that you do on, like, a daily or weekly basis that help keep you grounded?
I'm, like, big on, like, going to the gym. I go to the gym twice a day. I'll go in the mornings before work at, like, 6 a.m., and then I'll go after work. I just like being in I like to habit things. So then I know, okay, I'll naturally wake up at 6 a.m. and like just whatever. And then just having time to yourself is really important. Like turning off your phone and then just having time to think. So I'll sit outside and, you know, do nothing, but it's just really therapeutic because my mind goes a million miles a minute. And I just like to kind of like shut it down for a second and just, you know, like decompress and think about my day, think about what the long-term plan is. And I don't know, just being, I guess, like I said earlier, like aware of how much you can handle, because that's a big stressor. And planning things long term, delayed gratification is a huge thing too, you know. So just, I don't know, I guess you could say like things may not be perfect right now, but it's all part of the plan. It's a stepping stone to get where you want to be. So just thinking of things like that, like you could not be happy today, you could be having a fucking terrible day. But you know what? Just get through it. And like, if you have a long-term goal set up, then like, you know that this day is not going to affect you long-term. And like, you know that you're on the right path. So definitely thinking long-term is so important. Like, okay, like you could hate your job right now, but like maybe that experience is good for like what you're going to want to do. Things like that. Just like, don't think in the moment so much, which is like what I try to do. It makes you a happier person.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
I mean, 100%. I mean, just like you said, there will be some days that are, you know, very shitty, and me too. Like, I'll go through some shitty days. And I'm like, damn. I'm
yeah,
not
like
really
what's it
feeling
all
what I'm
for?
going through
Like,
right
yeah,
now, right? Yeah. But just like you said, I mean, for me personally, I try and, you know, just like to meditate every day and kind of like to be present.
Nice.
Yeah. And like to think about, okay, like, yeah, sure, like it might be shitty, but I mean, there are, you know, other people that are going through worse things, and and like,
right.
just like, and like, you know, just kind of when I internalize that, I'm like, all right, it's not that bad. Like, it's just one
Right.
day. Like, you know, like every day is a new chance, like, to do something new. So
I also like to think that like, if you have an issue, like if this is the hardest issue that you have, you've lived a pretty fucking good life. I like to think of things like that. What's the issue? This is the worst issue I have. I've lived a great life. Like, you know, I don't know, because I've like been there personally where like I've been a naysayer of like, what, I have nothing going for me, whatever. And I've just done shit, I guess, like recently, like I graduated high school with a 0.9 GPA, and like that, you know, you would never guess that like I'm actually doing shit with my life. So it's like, I don't know, just don't feel bad for yourself. It's so lame.
Yeah, I mean, so much of life is perspective.
it really is.
Yeah, like your worst days, someone might switch for their best, and it's just that perspective.
Exactly.
So
yeah, I don't know. I'm like so blessed every day, so lucky every day. You know, I don't know, everything that I've ever had, I'm self-made, you know, and like at the end of the day, no one's ever gonna take that away from me. And like, I'm just happy for myself and happy that, you know, I did it by myself. Like, I didn't come from people who, I guess, like, I don't know. I don't know.
Showed you the way.
I don't know where that was going, but yeah, just don't feel bad. Be blessed for what you got. Even if it's not much, it's still good. It's still good shit.
Yeah.
So,
and if you have the goal, anything can happen with what you got.
Yeah.
That's
right.
cool. So how do you define success? It's kind of something that we love to ask all our guests, and you know, it sometimes can be kind of a daunting question, but yeah, how do you personally define success for you?
That's a good, I don't know. I guess like I kind of have like a different thought process. I don't know, because when you were asking me questions about, you know, like styling, working with celebrities, that's all sick, but I don't think that's success. So I think success is feeling fulfilled with what you did. So if I felt like I genuinely helped someone, if I felt like I wasn't doing something for myself and like I was helping someone else, whether it be with like their personal career or like in general working on a team of scientists or working on like a creative team and then seeing your work come to life, all of that, and being like, that's what I did. And like, even if like I made no money or even if I made a lot of money, like it's not the money. It's about like what you got from it. Especially like in science, I'm not going to be able to be getting a lot of money until I have my PhD. So, you know, I don't know if I'll ever feel successful, but yeah, just I guess feeling fulfilled with what you just did and like then I don't know, kind of thinking of things like where's that going to take me next? So if you get excited about things, that's the best thing in the world. That's success for me. Just like being excited about things too. Like yeah.
Well, I mean, you're thinking of cells when you're going to sleep, so I guess that's
oh my God.
Right there.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's not.
No, that's awesome.
That's like
and,
delusion.
yeah, no, for real. Well, that's awesome. That's amazing, and you really are a testament to, you know, tackling a lot of things and doing it with a full effort and never being like, all right, this part's hard, but seeing like the long term, you know, long horizon. That's super key for people. So
right.
That's great. I think that's a great way to end. But, you know, how can our listeners and viewers find you on social media or online?
Yeah, we got my main Instagram with like the styling and stuff. That's Sarah Playboy Beaumont. And then for my it's a funny name. Then for my science account, just Sarah B Science. And then LinkedIn, just Sarah Beaumont. I think it's just Sarah Beaumont. Like you can just look it up. You'll probably see me. I got hella shit. I got like an IMDb. Wait, fuck, I can't talk. IMDb page. I got that. Sarah Beaumont. Yeah, I don't really use any other social media, so if you see me there, it's probably not me.
Got it. Watch out for the face.
Yeah, gotta watch out. Word. Well, you know, that was a great way to end it. And there you have it, Sarah Beaumont, a celeb stylist, actress, and future award-winning scientific researcher.
Oh my God, stop.
Nah, come on. I mean, like, you know a lot. So we both would not be surprised if, you know, 10 years from now, we see your name, you know, Pulitzer Prize. Like, come on.
Oh, you're so nice. Thank you guys. You're so cool.
Following it for the people under the poverty line, for sure.
Hell yeah.
Facts.
Fuck a poverty line. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, please don't forget to subscribe to Let's Travel on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever y'all get your podcasts. You know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe button. If you don't, kind of whack, but it's fine.
Kind of weird.
You know,
not mad, just weird.
But yeah, I mean, you know, if you want to listen to more stories of young hustlers that are doing great things, dope things with their life and pursuing their passions, you know, just definitely keep up with us. And thanks for coming on to the show, Sarah, to chop it up with you know, Dimitri and I. And honestly, definitely excited to see all the dope things you do in the world of fashion and science in the future.
Aw, you guys are so sweet. Thanks for having me. It's fun.
Yeah.